So today we're going to be talking about the 6 things that I wish I knew as a new coach. And really, they're the things that I learned on my journey. I stepped out of the classroom and into coaching and very quickly learned some lessons along the way. And I'm going to share them with you in stories tonight. I have been out of the classroom for 8 years now. This is a picture of me circa 2014, my first year as a coach. And I had come out of the middle school classroom, 7th and 8th grade English. And I was a little bit lost and confused, friends, I'm not going to lie. And I found myself really wondering what in the world I was doing here. So I'm going to tell you my whole story along the way tonight, and that'll help you get an understanding of some of the things that you might face as a new coach. So let's talk about my first year as a coach. Let's put this back up here. All right, there I am. It's my first year as a coach. I have come out of the classroom and actually moved to a new school. So I work in private K through 12 schools. And I was in the classroom at a private K through 12 school. And then I transitioned to this new school. The role that they had open was academic technology coordinator, which is actually, instructional technology coach. And I found myself thinking all the big ideas. Oh my goodness, all the things that we could change, all the things that we could do, all the things I could teach you. Let me show you this. Do you know we could have Chromebooks? Do you know how great it would be if we had iPads? Did you learn how to use Google Classroom? All these things that I was ready to teach all of these new teachers. I walked into this new school full of energy and excitement to share my knowledge, to share what I had learned. And I found myself, rather than really being able to get started doing my coaching work that I thought I was going to get to do, surrounded by computers, because I ended up really being a lot more IT that year because they were short-staffed on IT. So I found myself re-imaging computers and setting up Chromebooks and surrounded by devices going, wait a second, what have I gotten myself into? And one of the projects that I was supposed to be working on my first year as a coach was a technology standards project where they wanted me to introduce the technology standards, like the ISTE standards, to the teachers. You could imagine that might not have gone over so well with a group of teachers who had never even heard of ISTE before. So here I was, my first year, with all these ideas. And also, the administrators were like, you have a lot of ideas. And I was like, I know, which one can we start with? And they're like, I don't think so. So I was a little much for everybody. But I found myself trying to do the work that they asked me to do, introduce technology standards to teachers. We were doing kind of PLC discussions about it. And I had this one meeting that I remember so clearly where we were talking. It was kind of a multi-grade level PLC. We were talking about the standards, and that there was a 2nd grade teacher in this meeting who straight up blew up at me. Like, she started yelling in the middle of the meeting at me about the need for 2nd graders to have technology and how they do not need that, and how that is not something that they need in their school. And why are you having us do this? And I was like, oh, wow. This just got intense. And I don't think that we were much more than 9 weeks into school when this happened. So I was still very new, and I felt like I was being attacked. I was being attacked by this teacher because I was trying to teach them something new. So this whole encounter with this 2nd grade teacher led me to realize that there was more going on here than just a mad teacher. There had to be more going on. So I really came to the first realization that I want to share with you tonight. And that's the first thing that I wish I knew as a new coach. And that thing is so vital to your journey as a coach. So I want to share it with you tonight. It's that people resist change. If I was sitting with you over a cup of coffee, I could tell you even more stories about the resistance that happens as a coach. You are going to face resistance. It's a very real part of the work. But here's what's going on. Yes, you have the opportunity to improve as a coach. You can improve your leadership, your influence, your communication. You can get better always. So we always say there's something that we own in this. But at the same time, there's a very real thing out there, a real enemy that we are fighting against as coaches. And that thing is change. Our work that we're doing in our jobs is to help people grow. And if we're trying to help people grow, we're naturally going to help them change. And the truth is that the brain resists change. It is not something that the brain is wired for. So this is one of the things that I discovered as I was faced with this emotional reaction from a teacher and other teachers, is that there must be something else going on here. So I actually read this book called Quiet Leadership, and it's actually a business coaching book, but it's really, really great. It helped me understand more the brain science behind coaching and behind the work we were doing of helping people change and helping people think differently. So I just want to read you this quote from David Rock out of Quiet Leadership. It says, bear in mind that our brain is a finely tuned machine dedicated to protecting the status quo, and trying new ways of thinking or behaving can send alarm bells ringing, even bringing on the fight or flight response, complete with an adrenaline rush. One of the things that I discovered that I wish I knew as a new coach is that emotions run really high. And actually what's happening is it's in response to change. And teachers are being asked to change as a part of our work. So we have to realize that we are change agents, and it's our work to help teachers change, but that also might start with resistance. And if we can reframe, if you as a brand new coach can reframe this idea of resistant teachers and realize that coaching is really going to be a place where you're going to be helping people change, and people respond to change very differently and usually very emotionally, you can actually help make change happen. So what I really wish, if I was having coffee with you, friend, I would be sure to tell you that I wish I knew my first year as a coach that you can't just expect teachers to change, that instead your role is helping coach teachers through change, and that is going to take a little longer and a lot more patience along the way.